Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode on 4GQ TV. We are here today pretty much with a full panel. We got a lot to discuss, and hopefully we can keep PK's attention for 2 hours at least tonight. I don't know. We'll see. But, there's some things going on. The Sag-Aftra stuff, the REPLICA AI. AMD is crushing NVIDIA. Xbox is probably never going to go third party. They're just letting some titles go over. Not a big deal. But we're going to talk about all that and your fears and more. And we might have lost Paul. I don't know where Paul went, but hopefully he comes back. So tonight, let me go ahead and introduce the panel. We have PK, the most electrified man of all entertainment land.
Whoop, whoop. That was close-ish.
It was.
Maybe
he was nearly there, PK.
Hey, can he get a? Everybody give him a 1 out of 10. What do we grade him on that one?
Oh no, that was the closest I think he's ever been.
Yeah, agreed.
It was like it was still a foul, but it was like almost.
Clowns, we should definitely introduce the guest first, but thank you.
Well, I was getting to you, so I was getting to you, PK, so you can introduce everybody.
We can see your screen, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. Ooh, yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Yours?
What do you see?
On YouTube, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 going on.
Mm-hmm.
We can see. We can see a few things.
Oh, that's all right.
There we go.
I'm back. My connection dropped.
Welcome to the most electrifying channel in all entertainment. It's your boy PK. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everyone coming through. And yes, we have a stacked panel. We got a guest. Who is in the shadows, by the way, but he is awesome. I met him. He's a nice guy, very intelligent. He's in the same sector as I am, and he impressed Cozy. That's a huge achievement unlocked. It's hard to impress Cozy on first impression, but hey, he did it. So that's I like that. And then we'll keep on moving. So I'll let Clowns take it back, or Carlo take it back, and go ahead and introduce the rest of the panel.
Oh wow, I see what you did. The most electrifying man on entertainment land. Welcome back, Cozy, to the show. I know every other week sometimes you come, but you had a little incident, and I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
She claims she messed it up by bouncing on balls, but
oh my goodness, really not like that. Yes, but not exactly like that.
No.
Oh my god.
Don't. What? You did not need to do that.
Listen,
bro, you did not need to do that.
That's what she said.
It's a yoga ball. For those who don't understand, it's a yoga ball.
I have no words, PK.
Okay. That's what she said.
Yo! Right after that, we have the cerebral Paul with us, ever present, most paparazzi pineapple guy on the planet.
Right, whatever. Yeah, sure. Hi.
That's it. Hi.
That's it. Well, let's see haven't been playing much. I've been playing Dicey Dungeons, so just keeping it simple. And watching the new show Ted on the Peacock, which is I've been laughing a lot today. So,
nice.
Is it good?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. If you like that kind of raunchy, nasty humor that he's known for,
I like the movies. So.
And a lot of the humor is about my age range. A lot of the references and stuff.
Man, anybody who's
as old as that, Jesus.
Anybody who's less than 500, you might not get.
No, I'm just saying, just like he does in Family Guy. A lot of the callbacks are about
Do you know what? Your age range is you and Yoda. That's it. That's where we're at.
And then
thank you for that. Yes. Whatever.
All right, Jedi Paul. And Cozy's putting a cup full of honey as I introduce Animated Evil.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be here again another week and another show. Really, really happy. I'm in a good mood. It's great to have Cozy back. Not seen her in forever, and we've got a guest as well. So yes, looking forward to hear what our guest adds to the show. But yeah, glad to be here. Love you all as always. Let's go.
And we have our newest panel member, Frog Boy. Welcome to the show and the channel. How's your week been going?
It's been going good, man. Just a lot of work, doing a lot of content on my channel. Yeah, it's been great. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be part of the panel. Welcome everybody. Hopefully I can bring some people over to the show too. I told everybody, I just don't know if they're all going to show up.
It's all good.
It is a pleasure to have you, dude. It really is. I'm going to be honest. You seem a good fit. So yes,
It's
welcome.
going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun, right? It's going to be fun.
We're going to get it.
Hey,
Popping.
animated, you don't have to keep kissing his ass. He's already here. Jeez.
No. I can imagine me and Frogboy are going to argue a little
Listen,
bit.
I am tired
all
of
I'm
you.
saying.
What are you, one of
talking
them
about what
NVIDIA bros?
You're
I'm just kidding.
imagining yourself with this man, and you ain't saying no pause. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. You ain't about to be doing that in front of me.
NVIDIA bro.
We'll see.
All right. Well, let's get into the first topic, everybody.
We don't know how to act. Did you introduce the guest here?
Not yet.
Oh, I thought you did that, PK. That's why I handed it over to you. Hey,
No.
so we have a special guest you can't see. He's in the shadows. He sees us, but we can't see him. His name is The One. Welcome to the show, The One.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. Thank you, PK. Saying hello to all the guests. To all the hosts. Again, thank you. I am delighted to be on your show to talk about gaming and things of that nature. Again, I'm in the same industry as PK, and I think I have a couple of good responses to some of the topics at hand.
Cool.
Can I just right? Just because, right? The One. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you are and that kind of thing? Because obviously you did.
I'm a gamer.
First time on the show,
I'm
right?
a gamer.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I'm a gamer, like I said, and you can go to my profile. I don't hide it. The One. I've had that on Xbox and PlayStation. Don't tweet as much because I don't get into a lot of that. I respond to a lot of people, but I do see a lot of the craziness going on. But when I do try to say something, I try to say something from an intelligent point of view because I'm not going to make myself look as if I am unintelligent when I say things. So that is more or less, I'm a straight shooter, more or less, and a funny person when I need to be. So I think I was playing with PK one night and he said I was quiet. I'm like, I'm not quiet in any sense of the word. But once you get to know me, you'll really know who I am. So I'm a very opinionated person and I'm very opinionated about certain things, but a nice guy overall.
Well, me and you are gonna have fun sometimes, especially if we ever disagree.
I'm looking forward to get to know you then, dude. That's simple as that, right?
Yes, I don't have a problem knowing anyone.
Hit me up. We'll
and on the side note,
stuff, yeah.
and the side note, on a personal level, I travel all over the world, so I'm a world traveler. You probably name a place, I've probably been there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, just don't show up behind
No, I heard him. Yeah, I heard him. I'm good. He's hilarious, so that's good. So thank you again, PK, for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything else. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction, dude. Says everything about you.
Oh, not everything.
No, some things, right? Some things.
Enough to
get us interested, right? That's
All
where
right.
we're at.
First topic. Holy crap. Let's go.
Thank you, Paul. Way to go, Paul.
I mean, animated is like, he's flirting with everybody there. I don't know, so.
I'm feeling amorous. There we go. That's
is that what we call it?
All right, first topic. All right, 2 votes for first topic. Let's go. So there's rumors. A lot of people on Twitter are upset. People are getting crazy over this. Oh, if Hi-Fi Rush goes to Nintendo Switch, it's doom and gloom for Xbox. They're going third party. If Sea of Thieves goes on another platform, they're going third party. I'm just going to give my opinion and let the panel talk. So on this opinion is that if a game goes to another platform, it's not really a big deal if it earns revenue for Microsoft or Xbox. Whatever makes them revenue and makes their investors happy is where they're going to go. Doesn't matter what us hardcore fans say at the end of the day. It's all about the return on the market, statistics, and financials. And I'm okay with that. I mean, they're in business to be a business and make money, not to cater to my feelings or anybody else's feelings. That's kind of how I feel about Microsoft and Xbox at this point. And you know what? It's not a big deal. I still have a Series X. I have a PlayStation 5. I got a PC. I got a Steam Deck now. So does it really matter if something goes to another platform. I'm not here to defend my favorite platform. Xbox is my favorite platform, but I'm not here to put up swords and gatekeep and tell people that they can't enjoy Hi-Fi Rush on the Switch, or they can't play Sea of Thieves on PlayStation 5, or whatever it may be. Whatever Xbox wants to do, they're going to do. And Game Pass is really where Microsoft's heart is right now with Xbox. The xCloud, they want to push that out there into third world countries. And as the internet increases in speed throughout the world, you know, they see an easier way to market their games on Game Pass. It's easier to access. It's easier to pick up a phone or a TV or any device that you could probably sideload the Game Pass app on. You could play it on. So it's not a big deal. You're still playing in the Xbox ecosystem. At the end of the day, that's what their goal is, for you to stay in the ecosystem. And Game Pass is the ecosystem. So that's how I feel about it. You know, I'm going to go to our guest here. And that would be the one. The one. How do you feel about this?
Let me say this. I have mixed opinions about it. I think more or less why you see gamers more or less upset about it is to an extent of mixed messaging. You have one entity saying all our games are going to stay on the Xbox. You have others saying, financial people from Xbox saying, we want to put our games everywhere. So it's the messaging issue that I think I have a problem with. As far as Sea of Thieves as being rumored to go to PS5 or Switch, in a sense, this is 2 or 3 years later. People have already played that game. They've already probably maxed out the amount of players on PC and Xbox. If they want to expand the multiplayer environment and get more people to play and expose it to more people to generate more revenue, to an extent, the game is so much older. I don't really have a problem with it. And in regard to Hi-Fi Rush, there's a rumor, I don't know because I really don't follow rumor, but I think it's been said that Hi-Fi Rush was being developed for the PS5 and maybe for the Switch. Well, if you look at it in Asia, it would probably do well if it launched on the PS5 or the Switch, because that's where the Switch and PS5 dominate. So if it launches over there and makes extra revenue, I'm kind of indifferent, because like I said, and I'm always going to be 100% honest about this, as an investor who owns Microsoft stock, who owns Sony stock, who owns Nintendo stock, I want what's in it for me, what's going to best make money for me. But as a gamer, I have to be objective. And being objective means I can't hold these prejudices and say to a point, well, I only want it on this piece of plastic that I own, but I own all three. But I'm Xbox more or less 90%. I play my Xbox probably every day. If I have a PS5, I play the exclusives on PS5. I don't really have a Switch because I have a Legion Go and a PC, as everyone else does, but I just don't find the Switch is something I would want to play with or use. Everyone has what they want to play with and what they like the most. But as far as going back to your question, I really don't have a problem with it. I know a lot of people who call themselves Xbox fans have a problem with it, but at this point, the games are old. I don't have a problem with it. And it goes back to the point, if you think about it, what Jim Ryan said is that he wasn't making enough money, so the games need to go elsewhere. Well, I don't have a problem with Microsoft trying to make as much money as possible to funnel back into the system to develop better games that Xbox players are going to get first.
Yep. Makes sense.
So I don't really have a problem with it. Now, if you said day and date on other platforms, I think I would have a problem. But 2 or 3 years later, I don't think I have that much a problem with it. But again, I go back to the point of mixed messaging.
Why would you have a problem with day and date on other platforms, though? Just as a conscious question.
Yeah, the reason why I would have a problem with it is because, like I said, I'm gonna go back to what Phil said, where Game Pass exists, and that's also what you said. So if you're going to tell me where Game Pass exists, then that means Game Pass or Xbox is where Game Pass exists. PC is where Game Pass exists. So if you're going to tell me if it's on PS5 Game Pass, okay, I'm for it. But I think you do have to say the people who have been with Xbox the longest and who have been there for the fight. When the Xbox was down, it was these Xbox gamers right now. So show them some respect. That's my point. So to me, you need to show the Xbox gamers respect.
But it doesn't hurt us if it goes to another platform, Game Pass or not. In fact,
I
it helps
agree.
because
Hold on.
it gives
You asked me a
Wait.
question, and I
I
just
know,
gave
I
my
know.
opinion.
Hang on.
So that's my opinion. I mean, you are right. You can debate it. True.
Yeah.
But my
Right.
opinion is that the Xbox fan base has been with you through thick and thin. So that's
But-
saying like.
Let me put it this way, right? Let me put it this way. I apologize for cutting in a little bit here right now, right? So, you're gonna get it day one on Game Pass, right? You're gonna get it because you're a member of Game Pass. All that kind of stuff. You've been there with them for 16 years or however long you've been with them, right? So you're a subscriber. How does it affect you if it launches on PlayStation the same day and date, and they have to pay that much money for it? How does it affect us as Game Pass subscribers? How does it affect me and you as such?
You asking me?
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
asking you. Yes.
Okay. Well, in that
I'm just asking your opinion.
No, you asked me. I'm gonna be the petty gamer. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say just because I'm petty, I want it on Xbox. Because like I said, my whole premise to you was that the Xbox gamers have been with Xbox this long. Show us some respect. I don't care 2 or 3 years later.
And a minute, I think you knew that answer before you asked.
Yeah.
I think you knew he was gonna say.
Ish, yes, maybe. But obviously, I have a differing opinion, right?
Okay, say your opinion.
Do you know what? If it goes to other platforms, they have to pay for it. I'm already a member of Game Pass, right? So I'm getting it for my membership. I'm good. I'm happy. But they have to pay extra for it. So Nintendo have to pay extra for it. PlayStation have to pay extra for it. I'm not.
When you say extra,
I'm not as petty.
When you say, hold on. When you say extra, let's say extra. To me, extra means they pay more than we pay.
They're paying full price for the game.
But they're paying the same people who are not on Game Pass. So if a person has Xbox, who's been with Xbox, that unfortunately they're not on Game Pass, but they have an Xbox. So you're treating them just like the PlayStation. So when you say extra, to me means extra in addition to, not same as me.
Yep.
So that's where I'm coming from.
Yep. I didn't think about that, and that's a valid point.
Well, let me say something real quick. The way I look at it is Xbox, exclusives obviously are a reason to buy a console, period. I mean, you have PlayStation 5, which is, in my opinion, the default console where everybody goes out, everybody's got one, everybody thinks about it, everybody buys one. Xbox is clearly not selling as many consoles as the PlayStation. So from a point of view,
it's certainly true in my country, right?
From a point of view, if you're a gamer and you buy a console, the whole reason you bought that console is for the exclusives. If your exclusives are coming to everywhere, then what's the point of buying two consoles? What's the point of buying one console over the other? Me personally, now that I play a lot more on PC, I don't really care as long as I get the game on my PC. It doesn't really matter to me, but in the greater scheme of things, for Xbox to grow its platform and to be able to build trust in the community again, which they've lost multiple times, they can't be doing this. They can't be doing that. There are loopholes due to the publishers and all the companies like Activision and Bethesda and everybody that they bought. If they were to support any other platform, I would be okay 100% with the Switch. But when it comes to PlayStation, no, Xbox should not be putting their exclusives on
with all due respect and point of clarification. I agree with you in what you said, but I meant, and let me make sure I state my point, in reference to those two games, I think the Hi-Fi Rush was being already developed. That's my point of view. But if you're talking about first-party games that are being developed right now, moving forward, I'm on point with you that should stay exclusive to the Xbox. But game like Hi-Fi Rush, if it was already developed, then put it out there, make the extra cash, but get your message straight.
See, Hi-Fi Rush would be a good game for Nintendo Switch.
Yes.
Especially in
I said the same
Japan.
thing.
I mean, they should 100% capitalize on that and put it on the Switch. Sea of Thieves? No, that's an Xbox exclusive. If you want to play that, play it on Xbox, play it on Game Pass. Do not port that game to any other platform that is Xbox.
No,
And that's just my
Even if it can
opinion on
make-
that one.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
cut
but-
in here, guys, for a second. We got to hit
Go
this
on.
super chat for one. Yo, shout out to 100 super chat. Game Pass. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, and we got the legend in the chat, Mr. Legend Yobi. Shout out to Yobi and Timmy in the chat. Yo,
Timmy.
always
Love-
glad to see him.
Love
And then
and
we got
respect you,
Sekiro King Cypher. Thank you for all. Yo, man, I
Uh-oh.
see his opinions. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. And we having a good discussion here, but we definitely want to make sure everyone gets a little bit of a pepper on here. And I see Cozy talking to her bird, so I just want to see if Cozy want to weigh in on this a little bit before I pass it over to the Lions.
Okay. So I guess I come from a completely different perspective because I'm not really into Xbox. I'm a features first, so I will go wherever I get the cheapest offer for gaming. Currently, Microsoft has the cheapest offer for me for gaming, and the only one where cloud saves just work. But I do see it as a problem. Like, why would you get an Xbox if all the games are just easily available everywhere else? And like Hi-Fi Rush. As someone who likes rhythm games, Hi-Fi rhythm games are pretty niche. Like, even successful rhythm games are pretty niche. There's a reason I joke about the Yakuza games being, like, the best... Be quiet. The best rhythm games ever.
She's like, shut up, bird.
No, she only does that when I start talking, she starts screeching. But, yeah, I think, if that could generate, revenue for them, then why not put it on? Although I would actually say I think Sea of Thieves, any game that has like a multiplayer component, especially if would have to create an account to even just access that.
Right. So that's a good point, that they will still have to create a Microsoft Xbox account to even access this. And that might be a good strategy to get them to enter the ecosystem. I don't know. It could be it. They might have to subscribe to Game Pass if that happens. I don't know. We don't know. But that is a good point.
Do you not think, and I'm sorry to interrupt, PK, but do you not think that Sea of Thieves could be as big as Minecraft if it went to every other platform?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
I have no idea.
I mean, it would be,
but there's gonna be a lot of buy-in from other platforms, right, on this game, because as it is a gas game, right? It definitely gonna.
But we're talking
it makes
about
sense on PC. It makes sense on Xbox. It makes sense. It would make sense on.
But we're talking about ponies. They don't play old games.
Well,
I do. So that's the thing. Do you not think that Sea of Thieves could?
I don't know if it has.
I don't think it would be
enough
as big as Game Pass. It's a little bit. I don't think it would be as big as Minecraft, just because it's a little bit.
Maybe
I
I overstayed. But
not Minecraft. Maybe something. I mean, because you got Minecraft, Roblox, all of those games out there just destroying our young
Fortnite,
kids,
all
man.
that shit. Yeah, agreed.
Oh,
do you not think it would actually get popularization?
I think.
Oh no.
Sea of Thieves is one of those games that the earlier you start on it, the earlier you buy into it, the better off it's going to be. I don't know. I mean, it's already at 30 million players. 30 million players are already playing Sea of Thieves. Gosh, I don't know, man.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe
they're going to get more, because now that the cloud is extended to other cloud platforms, et cetera, they'll get more. But I didn't want to beat
they
it
could
up
just
because
play it on their Samsung TVs, man.
We got to pay respect to our elderly here, and I know Paul's
Stop.
itching to jump in.
Paul's kind of in a
Ooh.
mood, but we'll see what
Oh,
happens.
is in a mood?
I-
It's gonna get
I,
spicy.
you know what? I would like to say to the grey one, but the
Can you
clown
stop
and
talking
Paul
for 2
are
minutes?
both
Holy
a
crap.
fucking that grey, right? Yeah,
You
sorry.
just
go on.
let him go, animated.
Sorry.
Jesus.
He got his
Oh
hair
wait, Paul,
combed.
hold on a second. I gotta say something.
Oh, dear God.
Oh yeah, I just had to pause you there for a moment. I may go off camera for a second because of my dog, but PK, keep it rolling.
Okay, you interrupted me for that. We'll figure it out.
Go ahead, Paul.
Does anybody else have anything they want to throw out there? I'm just
No, go.
geez,
Go.
Okay.
It's on you.
Okay.
It's on you. I'm gonna shut up.
So look, I think if Sea of Thieves does ever go over to any of the other, that they would pick up some, but I don't know if they'd pick up a whole lot. You'd have to remind them that some of the stuff they've done, like with the Pirates of the Caribbean and the one they did with LucasArts recently, that I can't remember the guy's name. The Chuck is the bad guy. You guys remember what I'm talking about? The old Lucas Games game that they added into Sea of Thieves, a whole set of adventures.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Last thing I remember is the I don't know, the Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't remember.
Well, they've done
anything.
one. They did one a couple months ago that was based
Yeah.
on the old Lucas Games
Yeah.
IP.
Yeah, I
Um,
forgot.
eh,
They did a trailer at the Game Awards. I forgot what it was, but you know.
Yeah, I can't. And it's a game I like. I just can't remember the name of the stupid thing.
Oh, Monkey.
Yeah, Monkey
Oh,
Island.
Monkey Island.
Yeah,
There you go.
which is a Lucas Games IP, LucasArts IP. So there's things like that that will get people's interest, and the fact that they've introduced safe sailing or safe seas that allow you to go into a personal server and not get attacked by everybody and their brother. For those of us who want to play the game but didn't like the fact that every time we spawned in, our ship got sunk.
That sounds like PTSD.
I just like to get in
That's what
there
it
and
sounds
admire
like.
the white. I just like to get in there and admire the waves every now and then,
And the sky.
and the sky.
Oh, I actually find it really, really relaxing sometimes to go in there and just go fishing.
That
Me
game is
too.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Now-
The skies are really cool. The graphics are really cool.
Paul, what do you feel about the single player games?
I think single player games, I think those should be held to the individual, whatever, wherever that, like on Xbox, at least for, like you said, with Hi-Fi Rush, it's going to be 2 or 3 years before it kicks over. I think that's a good time because then, we've all played it. So
I mean,
something
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, so kick it over to some people who may not have experienced it yet. They get to experience it. They'll have fun with it.
Let me ask
I don't
you.
have
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Frog Boy.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Now I'm gonna go after Frog Boy because I want this to just bring up one point.
I was just gonna say that I personally wouldn't be like, I personally don't think I would lose sleep if they did port Starfield to PlayStation, but I don't know about
I
that.
don't know about that.
No.
After-
See, here's the
after
thing I
all
was
of
going to
their,
point out too.
That's not.
After all of their hate on it,
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, and let me just say real quick, one thing I wanted to point out is nothing is saying, except for some of the talking heads on Twitter, that all the games are going to go multi-platform.
No.
yeah.
No.
It's never going to be that. And Phil has always said it's going to be a
Say it game by game basis, right?
yeah,
Case by
game by
case.
game basis. So case
Again.
by case.
What I wanted to say real quick is you going right back to the point of messaging. But has anyone ever thought about the reason why they could be doing this is because they're still in court with the FTC, and the FTC is viciously attacking, from my point of view, to block the merger. And if they're saying, okay, CFTC, we are trying to share our games. We are. So they're trying.
Yep.
Do you think they're trying to prove the FTC wrong and make the FTC look bad? I mean, that's just my opinion. Doesn't matter.
I bet you there is some of that. I absolutely bet you there's some
So
of that.
if that is, that's the only thing. I don't want to.
If this was PlayStation, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And so like when I hear the whole freaking the whole justification like that they might be doing it just for the FTC or whatever, that's nonsense. No,
Why?
I don't. That
I don't
just,
think
that's
it's just for. I
stupid.
don't think
Yeah,
it's just
That,
for.
that,
But I
that
don't
just
think-
think
I just
doesn't
think
make
there's-
sense.
That's on you,
That-
Paul. You know more than we do. So
All right, hold on, guys. Hold on. We talking over each other. Let's see. What was your rebuttal there? The one.
No, I was just saying
Yeah,
that more or less to me it's more strategic. Even if they're trying to prove something, and everyone keeps saying, "Why? Well, Sony." Again, what was one of the main things that came out today about Microsoft? They
Well,
overtook Apple for a brief second, and I think people
Yeah.
keep forgetting this whole case is, to me, has nothing to do with Sony. Everyone knows this. This only has to do with big tech in the US getting too big, and they do not want competition. If it's I'm done with this after I say this, but if it's Apple, Google, Amazon, they're the only, and Microsoft, they're the only companies that have to watch their step. And anything that they do will be heavily scrutinized
and Facebook.
because they own all this. And that's what everyone is afraid of.
Facebook
And that's
too.
why the CMA wanted to block cloud gaming, because there was nothing there to block it. But that's the reason why. Sony has nothing to do with this. Microsoft already told you they're not worried about Sony.
Yeah. I mean,
So
if
people
Xbox goes and drops their games, that just completely destroys their whole identity.
I
So
agree with
everything
you. I'm
they've
not
worked to
debating you on
build.
that. I'm not debating you on that. That's not what. Only thing I was saying is that I could see if the reason why, if they put one or two out there, because they're in court now to try to throw water on the FTC's argument. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just put my 2 cents out here. I think everybody kind of beat this up a little bit. So I'm gonna just say first, as a gamer, we are pledged to our wallets and not to plastic. I always say, play games, not companies, right?
yeah, true.
But at the end of the day, we do have preferences. I understand sometimes that evoke emotions where you want to, you want the wins for what you prefer, and I get that. But Microsoft's intentions when purchasing these publishers was to continue to share some things multi-plat because it made sense financially. This came out in court and everything. This includes Call of Duty, right? And then when it makes sense is, porting smaller games like Hi-Fi Rush is a perfect title to hit the Switch, right? That's a perfect title. Hit the Switch. It's my favorite game in last year, but it's a good one because it will work fine out of the box.
Yeah.
Now, do I think they will put it on PlayStation? I don't think so. There's some resentment on signing contracts with Microsoft when it comes to PlayStation because they have to agree to their terms, which they're not going to. They're not going to share that space with Xbox, especially if they require them to create a Microsoft account or something like that to play like Sea of Thieves, right? Because they're not going to, you get what I'm saying, right? There's some caveats here. Smaller games they don't move the needle enough for it to matter, and especially if it is some time after that game is passed, right? Forspoken hasn't came out on Xbox yet, at least the console side.
It's got a whole nother year. It was a 2-year exclusive.
It's on PC, Xbox, but if you have PC, you probably got it on Steam or something, but it's on PC, Xbox. But for as console wise, Square signed the contract to keep it off of that console for whatever time period they did. So what I'm getting at is, by the time that game launched, just like Deathloop or anything else, doesn't really matter. I'm not even saying that the PlayStation guys even bought Deathloop or bought, Forspoken or anything. They technically buy third-party games. I don't know why even we talking about exclusives, because they technically don't buy those either. But what I'm getting at is, I can see the time period going by and it doesn't matter, but I also see the fact that certain games just fit better multi-plat, like Minecraft, like Call of Duty, versus the games that are day and date that are created for the Xbox only, like Forza and Gears and things like that, that are branded Xbox, right? When you think of Gears, when you think of Halo, when you think of Forza, when you think of these games, you think Xbox. So that 100% has to align with the brand. We're talking about branding here and financial sales. So when you think about it, does it it's it will just bring more attention to the platform itself by spreading a little bit. You know why Google became the biggest tech giant in the world? Not because it sold you a bunch of crap, but because it gave stuff away for free. And it used you to take that free stuff and then took the ad revenue and the analytics to track and resell it to the vendors. And that's how they get paid. I'm telling you that now. That's the mindset, right? To give some things away to make you feel good. And then that brings you in to want to be a part of this ecosystem, right? Think
Yeah.
about it. Right
Yeah,
now,
absolutely. Yeah,
right
absolutely.
now, their biggest push is AI. They own 49% of ChatGPT. They put out their own co-pilot for free on Android and
Mm,
on iOS.
Yeah.
Microsoft's chasing them a little bit, but
It's not no
not as
chasing.
much,
They
right?
pretty much own them. They just don't own the
Yeah,
controlling
yeah.
chair.
I know.
But what I'm saying is they're trying to draw you in by giving you something away for free on any platform. My point I'm making is that even they work with Apple. They got 365 working on Apple.
Mhm.
They have all their tools. What I'm saying, that's their competitor, right?
I don't know, man. I hope they don't start putting Xbox games on PlayStation and Switch. So we just got
It's
Crap Gamer back, bro.
so
We
so let
just
me
got Crap Gamer.
so let me finish and then
We do.
let me finish
Dude,
this and,
dude,
and
They
I'll move
do
on.
that, we'll lose them again.
we don't
So
want him. We don't want him.
I
We don't want
there
him.
is no way in intention, especially in the financial sector. First of all, Microsoft pays a lot of smart people that knows money and understand projections and
Mhm.
that can look through things, right? They are on a success route. They're not going to dump that, especially with Phil running the show, who answers strictly to Satya, who has a lot of W's himself, right? To just dump that. What I'm
I mean,
saying is it makes sense for certain titles to spread the love.
I don't know,
That
man.
does
We're
not
this close to
wait a
getting
minute.
freaking MBG back too, man.
Well, that's no here to say.
We,
But
we,
I'm
we
just
also
saying
don't want him either. Shush.
I'm just saying, like, you want that branding, you want your brand to have that positive mark globally to draw people in. So now that the marketing rights have changed and Sony no longer has the marketing rights to Call of Duty, and Xbox can finally say, yeah, we have Call of Duty, and now they have exclusive marketing rights, they will be able to shout to the rooftops. Even though PlayStation still can buy Call of Duty, we still have the Game Pass, and eventually it'll go there. But more importantly, they have the marketing rights. So the messaging is what the one keep talking about. The messaging will be clear that you play games better on this console. Period. You have, and for people who cannot afford the premium, we have the entry level. Period.
We've
There's no
got
trickery.
the
There's
Samsung TV entry level.
there's no trickery here. Uh, I want everybody to tell me what console or platform maker has ever made it so that you can go to a Best Buy, GameStop, and get an early access with no interest and just pay monthly for this console with Game Pass. Think about that. That all access, you ain't never seen nothing like that before. That's crazy.
No.
And you're not paying interest, and you actually saving money if you do it that way, which is insane.
I haven't really heard anybody actively using that though.
But that's only because
Yeah,
people
I
have
know
to
a few.
pass credit
Yeah.
checks. At the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down.
Yeah.
That's anything. That's getting cell phones. All right.
I mean, you can go over to Verizon right now, I think,
But
and get
but
free
listen
Xbox.
to this, Frog Boy. You're in America. When you go to other countries who are not as fortunate as we are, this is a good deal.
We are
And that's what I'm
spoiled
saying.
brats, and that is
So
our problem.
So that's all I'm saying. I think, I agree with a lot of what everybody's thoughts are. I'm not so emotionally attached, but I do feel like that the intention that Phil has is to definitely keep day and date and things that are built for the console, such as whatever the next Elder Scrolls is, right? will be exclusive to the Xbox. Period.
Yeah, I think
But
honestly,
little
right,
games like we talked about, I think that's fair.
yeah, the
Right?
little games like the Hi-Fi Rush. I don't think even Xbox gamers would care about that. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
they
I don't.
they
I mean, they
do.
care about it, but I don't think they would like. After it happened, I think it would be something that they would forget about pretty quickly and just move on. But I mean, if they were going to do like Starfield or
They're not going to do that either.
No,
There's
they're
a
not
reason.
gonna
There's a clear reason why they canceled Starfield for PlayStation. Okay.
yeah,
They're not going to do the big massive games, right?
why them ponies like $70
But
AAA
I
No,
babies?
just-
no. The thing is, they're not going to do the big. They're not going to do the big games. End of story. They're not going to because that's why they.
You're not going to
into the
spend
ecosystem.
$8 billion just to do business
Yes.
as usual. You're not going to
Yes.
spend 70 billion just to do
But-
business
but-
usual.
but-
There is a
but
strategy
things
here.
like, but things like Hi-Fi Rush make sense going to other platforms. They do.
Well, not platforms. The ones they
Just
have a
Switch.
relationship with.
It does. It does.
It's
let's
not going
be
to
honest.
PlayStation. It'll go to Switch.
It doesn't
but
matter.
won't
It'll go to
PlayStation.
Switch. But it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
That game going to Switch makes absolute sense.
yeah.
Because of the way the game is built, the way the game is designed, the way
I
the
think-
game plays.
Yeah, I kind of feel like
it
that
will
game would do
resonate.
really good in Japan.
It will
Honestly.
resonate. It will resonate with Switch players. That's the point. Of course, it will. Look.
Absolutely.
If you've ever played it, look at how it plays.
They could even probably
it-
charge $70 for
Do you
it.
know what?
Oh my God.
It,
You guys are
No.
it was kind of designed for Switch, really.
Yeah.
The whole
Let's
beat system
Yep.
kind of thing. It was definitely designed for Switch.
If it does come to Switch, though, I want like to be able to do the beat with like with hand movement. That would be better instead of pushing a button.
all right.
Agreed.
I'm gonna just say we need to
There
move
was that,
on because we beat the heck
oh.
out of this topic. By the
there
way,
was
So
that
go ahead and
one
finish
game-
your thought.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on to something else.
Go ahead, little boy. Finish your thought.
Unless Cozy's got something to say.
She
I'm a
was
guy.
singing to her bird or something. I don't know what
What-
she was doing. Yeah.
Finish your thought there, little one.
No, I was good. I made my point. I'm good.
So I'm gonna
I
give
apologize
I'm gonna
to
give
one.
Cozy something to say. So Vampire Survivors has a clear roadmap for 2024, and this is an indie game that's been going on strong for almost 3 years now, and it still keep giving gifts. And you gotta give it to the indie dev here, man. It's an addiction, and it's not for everybody. But Cozy hit me onto this, and I can't stop. I got it on everything. I 100% it on Xbox, Steam, and mobile. Man, I got it bad with all the DLCs. What do you feel about that, Cozy? What do you feel about this roadmap to online co-op and everything that they got stored?
I think they're definitely, they understand making a game. They are very generous with their offerings for what the game offers. I mean, I know some people look at it and be like, yeah, that's all the game is worth, but for what fun I've gotten out of it, I don't feel like this is a game I would have paid more for. And it's like, I paid $5 for this. Had so much fun. The DLCs are it's a very affordable, fun experience, and they've constantly added new dynamics to it. So I always love people who are just like, here's an update.
I should
Yo.
download it on my freaking ROG Ally. I
Yo,
have not
and
completed
they
it.
just they added Abugus. Those characters are broken. Those are broken. I feel like how they had the Game Awards, and they always say the best supported game. Why this game ain't being mentioned here?
They
This is
never
insane.
mention, actually, in those kind of awards, they really ever talk about games that actually have really good long-term support. They just can't.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't talk about Hogwarts Legacy at all.
Hogwarts Legacy didn't get mentioned. I think it's a political reason more than it is just celebrating the game. And I
Mhm.
think that's dumb. I'm not even
Yeah.
a Harry Potter fan, but I know that game was great.
It really was.
So hey, Paul,
Yo,
how you feel about this roadmap and these people still
I'm
supporting this game?
I'm not a vampire survivor. I can't play the game, so I never really got into it.
I didn't ask you if you played the game. I asked you how you feel about them supporting the game.
I mean,
I-
fine. If players are going to play and enjoy it, more power to
I
them.
have,
It's not
I have a
accessible?
question. I have
It
a
is.
question.
The most accessible game in the world. You push like
I
one
have a
little.
question, Paul.
You don't
I
even
really
need to
do.
push a button.
I do really
Exactly.
have a question, right? Why can you not play Vampire Survivors? I mean,
It's
we've played
too hard for
games-
me to move around and dodge around and not get hit by shit all the time. So yeah,
You're supposed to
Not
kill
something
stuff.
that-
It's one stick. It's one stick.
You kill
Yeah.
stuff.
dude, it doesn't mean that. Okay, I just
No. I'm actually interested in your
And-
take on it. That's
and
all.
I'm saying
That's
that
all I'm
because
at.
of the way my hand-eye coordination works, I can't do it well enough to do it
Okay.
well.
Are you sitting on Are you playing on TV, Paul?
Huh?
Do you play on a TV or a monitor?
It's a monitor.
No.
And you sit pretty close to it?
Yeah.
I was like, when I got my monitor, it greatly enhanced my eye-hand coordination. I was like, wow, I feel like
No,
a teenager. again.
in case
Yeah.
you don't, I the name is there for me. I have cerebral
Oh
palsy.
yeah. I get you.
Mama.
I get you.
I
Yeah,
get it,
man.
Paul. But honestly, right? After playing many games with you all the time, right? I thought that would be one of the ones you could actually do, but it's
From what I've been told after I tried at first is that after you get past a little bit, you get more powerful and it becomes
Yes.
much easier. But
Yeah.
It does.
at first, I have to get past that part that I'm having
Actually-
trouble with. And
Actually,
so, yeah.
actually, you don't. You can just get a DLC character and wreck the whole game.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
All right, so that means PK's
You
got
know,
to get Paul a
You know what,
DLC
dude?
character.
dude. I'm sure we can play co-op.
I did,
We'll try
but
it.
because I couldn't initially play it, I haven't gone back to it because it's
Okay.
like, it's like I spent like 60 hours trying to play Elden Ring, but I ain't going back to that
Yeah.
crap. I know.
Well, look, Paul.
But
We're
you-
not
but-
trying to
but-
convince you to play the game. The question is how you felt about, them.
I know.
still
I'm just
supporting.
saying that I think it's fine for those who enjoy it. Just like with Hi-Fi Rush, I can't play Hi-Fi Rush, but it's a great
Yeah.
game.
If if anyone knows how you play, I know, right?
Yeah, I
That's all
know.
I'm saying. Yeah. And I thought
Pause.
I
Yeah.
did did think you would be able to play that game, but we'll discuss. It's fine.
The one I know you down here. Do you have an opinion on how you feel about them still supporting this game? It got a huge roadmap for 2024. Big expansions coming. I know it's a small game. It's not for everybody, but I'm telling you, I'm excited. But what's your thoughts on that?
First and foremost, it shows you overall what one or two people can do to make a great game. It shows you that you don't need to spend billions of dollars, millions of dollars,
Facts.
whatever, to make a game. This shows you one person or two people were creative enough to make something that's fun that you can jump in and jump out. As far as the price and the value, the price to me is extremely cheap for the value you're getting with that game. I love the game. I haven't 100 it yet because I play so many things, but I always play the game like right before I go to bed. I'll sit in bed and play it right before I go to bed and try to see how far I can get because it's very addictive.
It is.
And for them to, and I think the download was like $1 or $2. I mean, it's nothing. That's money you spend anyway. So it's just like, okay, they're giving you great bang for your buck. And for them to have an extensive roadmap to say, hey, we're going to support this game, that's saying that, hey, we appreciate you. So this is what we're going to do. Because they could have easily said, okay, we know the success of this game, but we're going to come back and make additional download content for the same price. And they did. So that's
Well said. That's awesome. That's
I
what's
like
up.
it.
I man, can't say it better than that. I don't know, man. What do you think, Frog Boy?
Yeah,
It
I
ain't
think
got
it's
enough
good. They should
You ain't
keep
got no
supporting it.
graphics for you.
I like it. I just I it's one of those games where I'll play it, and when I do sit down and play it, I'll play it and play it and play it. But then once I put it down, like going back to it is my problem. That's my problem with a lot of games. So if I don't sit and get through them right when they come out, then yeah, I just
How do you
move
feel
on
about
sometimes.
them still supporting the game though?
I think that's
full
good.
roadmap to 2024.
I think that's good because the industry needs more games like that. And the more they support it, the more it keeps it on people's minds, the better the game's going to do. I think that's a very very good plan. Just like another game, it's called Descenders. It's a downhill mountain biking game. It's kind of like an arcade game, but they keep supporting it. That game is freaking awesome, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going. They've added so much to that. It's come so far along that like
I was going to say pause.
it gets like more important. I mean, it gets more. I mean, like more people play it. Mike Rose, he's always on Twitter talking about how he's always on Twitter talking about how the Game Pass has helped that game grow even more. So yeah, I'd like to see games like Vampire Survivor continue to grow.
You see, I like Mike Rose, but sometimes it can be a bit of a dick.
Yeah,
I really respect him.
He's
Right?
I mean,
straight to the
we're
point.
telling him
He
this
shoots
game-
from the hip.
He can, right?
Yeah,
Do you know
exactly.
what? He can be. I respect him for what he's done, where he's been, and what he's done with his career. But he can sometimes be a bit of a dick on Twitter. That's all I'm saying.
Well, how you feel about this being supported or animated?
But Descenders is a good game.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be honest with you. I agree with you, Frog Boy. I really do. But
what about Vampire Survivors?
Do you know what?
What do I know?
It's not a game I would ever play. Right?
What's wrong with you?
Listen, no. Listen.
Monster.
I don't like this answer.
I need more
Listen,
graphics.
Listen, give me a second
He's a
to
graphics whore.
explain people.
You
Right?
need to turn this man's mic off right now. Well, go ahead.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Right? This is not a game I would play ever. However, I got completely addicted to it because of its gameplay. The gameplay was absolutely fucking on point, and that's where it was, right? So this is a game I'm thinking, what is this? No, I'm not interested. This is not something I will ever even invest in, right? I played it once, I got completely fucking addicted. That's where we're at. So
That's the thing, man.
You're
Those
also,
simple things, but
seriously,
Oh.
I don't know what Vampire Survivors did to me, but yes, I played it a lot.
if
I
that
really
thing
did.
had like realistic looking graphics, man, I bet it would be very, 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 very like a lot of people would play.
Well,
it.
I don't think it needed it.
I think it's,
Yeah, I don't think it
think
needed it. I
deserved-
mean, I had like that.
It deserved the 8-bit graphics.
I think
It gave me it
I-
easily gave me like that Castlevania Symphony of Night freaking vibe, and I was just like, oh dude, I love that game. And
Yeah.
I like Vampire Survivors, and I'm grateful that they are going to continue supporting that game because, yeah, dude, like good games like that don't come
Do
around
you know what?
that often.
The game deserves it.
Mhm.
It's very similar to the Hades game.
Yeah,
The Hades game give me the same feeling, right? I jumped into Hades thinking I would not like this game. I would not even entertain it. I jumped into Hades and absolutely loved it. So that's the same kind of support. And then they're doing Hades 2 shortly, I believe.
yeah.
And it's exactly the same thing. So for me, yeah, if you're going to support it. You
That's
landed
what's
a
up.
good game. You
like
landed
that.
a good game. You landed an absolutely out of the box game that dragged me in. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
I'm more of a AAA banger kind of guy. No.
Animated. We understand English. You ain't got to repeat us 99,000.
No, you're right, mate.
Oh,
You hear this?
stop.
Now you
Oh,
got this
just-
man with his terrible accent.
Now we're going to Australian. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Flop.
Since,
So,
Radio.
that's
Radio.
since
Well,
this man is
Radio.
you asked my opinion. I gave it, right?
this man and his terrible accent, clowns. What's your thoughts on this whole Vampire Survivors and 2024 roadmap? And you know what I mean, 3 years in.
You know, first off, I want to say this. I want to say at first, I doubted this game. Like, I didn't want to play it. I didn't think it looked good. Then I heard Cozy constantly talking about in
Sounds familiar.
sound in the party chats. Oh, I'm addicted to Vampire Survivors. I can't stop playing it. Then I heard PK say, "Oh, Cozy, you got me into this game. I can't stop." I was like, okay, I have to see why people like this game because this is weird. So I played it, and then I liked it, and now I like it a lot, and I still like it. And I want to say that the game it looks so simple, doesn't it? The graphics are simple looking, the palette's simple looking, but the mechanics are just addictive with the mobs and trying to level up and get to the next character or buying the next character or getting maxed out weapons and getting to the next level. And that's what makes this game a lot of fun. It's the longevity of the game itself. And I want to shout out to Luca Galante. He is the developer behind the game. And he's just a small indie developer that's Italian. And he made this game.
You ain't had to say that. You ain't had to say all that.
No, he just made this game and he threw it out there. He didn't even think it was going to do well. And executives at gaming companies like Phil Spencer love the game. And they were tweeting it. Other execs were tweeting it. And it just blew up in popularity. And I gotta like give credit because he's an indie dev who just did this in his spare time for fun. Didn't expect to really make a lot off this game. And it has become so successful and phenomenal. And it doesn't even cost that much. So shout out to him and his little team that are keeping this thing alive. And they're obviously at this point, they're doing it for the fans because they could definitely up the price of this game. But they haven't. And the DLC is super cheap if you do buy DLC. If you haven't bought it yet, it's like $2, not even. So, yeah, that's my opinion, PK. I just think it's fantastic.
That's awesome. I agree with a lot of people's points. You know, I'm definitely an addicted fan, and I think it's awesome. I get excited. I haven't been excited for a game to have DLC in a long time, but I always get excited. If you guys know, I be tweeting at them like, "Yo, drop this already." I'm like waiting for it.
TLC?
Yeah, it's
Does
like real crack.
Does it have
real
does it have
drugs.
an easy peasy mode?
Yeah, it's called by
Yeah.
DLC and then have
Does
broken
it
justice.
have a journalist mode? Okay, man.
Oh,
Ooh. Uh-oh.
I think
No.
I think
being
the most
dirty.
important mode that was launched into it is couch co-op. That's the most important
It's about
mode.
to have online co-op.
Yeah.
so
So
now you can guide Paul and Carrie.
that's in for me. That's the most impressive thing they've done. You can do co-op with it. I can now drag my girlfriend or children or whatever, and I can play with them.
Coming with
And-
me, whether you like it or
Yeah.
not.
I support
No,
this.
that's the thing. It's that's the biggest thing they've put in. I think, in my opinion,
Yeah.
co-op because it needed it.
I think I might actually download that to my ROG Ally tonight.
You just like to say ROG Ally.
I love it. ROG.
I play it on my phone.
ROG.
It's
I'm
like
gonna
I play
stick it on my
everything.
ally. I'm take my ally everywhere with me.
I put it on my
Oh.
Steam Deck.
So, Clowns, what else we
now
got
you're
before
showing
we
off.
get into the
Real quick, I just want to give a shout
CES things?
out about a game called Gunsuit Guardian. Received a key from Keymailer. It's another bullet hell type game. It's in the same genre as Vampire Survivors, except you're in a little astronaut suit. You're shooting aliens, and it's got similar mechanics, but the graphics are very smooth, looking like 16-bit with a gradient background. It's very cartoonish, almost the style of like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, and it's a fun little game. It's $2 right now on Steam, $2.99 or something like that. But I wanted to give that a shout out because I honestly enjoyed that game. I do play a lot of different press games, and I don't always like them all. This one I actually do, and we received a key for it, so I do need to disclose that. But I got over like 4 hours in now, and
What's it called?
it's Gunsuit Guardian.
It just came out.
It's in beta right now, early access.
Let's see. Not seeing it on Keymailer.
Gunsuit
Gunsuit Guardian.
Yeah, hopefully I got the name right. You know, I sometimes get names wrong, as Paul will tell you.
Yep.
And intros.
Except
Yep.
for PK's. PK's is always
Yeah,
good.
you got it. Gunsuit. Oh yeah, they've it's got like you're pre-approved for this game.
Yeah,
You check it out.
yeah, it's a fun game, man. I enjoyed it. So I wanted to throw that out there, but I want to get into this AI stuff with Replica. There's been a lot of backlash from different voice actors. There's been some bad press releases that are misunderstood. And I've been talking to NAVA, the National Association of Voice Actors, as we did some press conferences with them at San Diego Comic-Con. And I'm waiting on a response from the president, Tim. But so far, from what I understand with this Replica AI deal, is that some voice actors out there that are part of Sag-Aftra are upset because they feel like the deal is voted on without their approval or without their consent. But here's the thing that I discovered, since it's one company, Replica AI, they don't need a full referendum from all the members. Only the executive board can make a decision and vote on it. So the executive board at Sag-Aftra made a vote on it, and they voted for it because Replica is the first company to come forward and say, hey, we want to make a deal where we can license out voice actors or actors' voices that have agreed to it. Like, so in other words, with Replica AI, they won't use anyone's voice that hasn't agreed to it. And if you're a voice actor, you're in the field, you can sign a consent form with Replica AI. You could be in their database, you can agree to it, and they can use your voice in future projects, and they will pay you a license fee. Now there's some debate over how much Replica AI will pay you. I've seen some voice actors say it's only $9 for a use of a voice one time. I'm not sure how true that is, but I've seen that on Twitter, so I'm waiting for clarification on that. But they're the first company to step forward, and what SAG-AFTRA is hoping is that other AI companies will come forward and say, hey, we need to make a deal on this. We have to make a deal because we want to pay proper license fees and people get paid for their voices. We don't just want to steal it. And that, you know, that's what the industry is hoping for. However, there is a strong section of voice actors that are against AI completely, do not want their voices in any AI databases, have spent numerous hours and lawyers' fees trying to get themselves removed from existing databases, and it's become a pain for a lot of them. You know, the one, I want to go to you on this, since you're our guest, and get your opinion from what I said, what you think, and if you have any questions, I can explain a little bit further. But, yeah, looking forward to your opinion, man.
Let me just say this. For one, it's a slippery slope. And I have to look at this in the same world as you look at music, because that's voice acting to me is a craft as any other job would be. So you have to respect that person's voice. And if they choose not to have that in AI duplicate their voice, I think that's serious. And I think it should be left up to them, because once you start down that road of letting some AI duplicate your voice, and as you said, $9, I don't care if it was $100. If it was a fee that the voice actors would get paid, that like Hollywood actors would get paid in the back end based off of their character. So if their voice was used in Halo, and Halo made $1 billion, and the voice actor should be paid a percentage of that, even if AI used it, because you are basing it off the character that you think it is and who that person you think is doing it. So if you said it was this actor X, and it's a well-known actor, but the AI used his voice, but you really like the game, and this person, you buying the game because of that person's voice. To me, you can't just pay that person pennies when you're making millions. So it has to commensurate with what, if you go that route, with how much money that said game brings in, because that's a slippery slope. Because if you have various AI trying to even duplicate, then you're going to get to the point of saying, well, we didn't use this voice. AI created its own. It may sound similar. So now you go into court saying, well, it sounds similar. How are you going to prove? Because there are a lot of people who do sound alike. So when you start getting into gaming, that's a slippery slope. And I do agree with the voice actors who are against it, because you have to put yourself in their shoes. That's their livelihood. And you must be out of your mind if you're going to tell me you're going to duplicate my voice for $9. No, it was $100,000. They need to be commensurated. They need the money needs to commensurate with the budget of the movie. That's all. So I think that's a slippery slope with AI. And that's coming from someone who's in the field, who is scared of it.
That's a good perspective, because I know you're in the tech industry. One thing I do want to follow up on that on for everybody on the panel that may not know this, or anybody watching or in the future, is that what I've learned from my friends in voice acting, union voice actors with SAG-Aftra typically make on average about $275 an hour, and they go for 4-hour sessions, but sometimes they're allowed extended breaks in those sessions due to the union contract. Non-union voice actors typically, if you're working, let's say for Crunchyroll or Funimation, make about on average $75 an hour. That could vary based on your popularity, but that's basically the flat rate they give. And they go for longer sessions, like 6 to 8 hours with less breaks. So you can see there is a big discrepancy in the alleged $9 an hour versus any of these rates, even non-union. One of the concerns I have with these rates are, the one you brought this point up, is in the future, I'm sure voice actors were hoping to negotiate in contracts that they would be paid residuals, like $100,000, or something that based on the marginal profit of the movie. Right now, many voice actors do not get residuals unless it's something for a commercial or a movie or a TV show. When it comes to video games, usually no residuals, but they're looking to change that. But now with the threat of AI, those residual thoughts might completely go away, and that might be completely devalued in the future, where they're only worth, I don't know, $20 an hour for a live broadcast. I mean, and that's sad. So I wanted to fill that in case anybody on the panel didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
I read the press release that SAG-Aftra put out about this, and if I'm reading it correctly, it looks like it's not a once you're opted in, you're in. It's like it looks like they're notified when their stuff is going to be used, and they can opt out of that project with the AI stuff. So it's not a one and done type of thing. So they do have a little bit of control of where their voice is used. My concern would be, like yours, would be how much they're getting paid, and if it becomes a banger of a game or whatever.
Okay, I'm sorry, Paul. I was just trying to understand, but go ahead and clarify.
Well, go ahead. What are you trying to understand? I'll see if I can.
No, finish, because you.
I was just going to say, as long as if they can set up kind of some kind of residual system to say, hey, this is this game, sold 100 million copies, just to throw a number out there, and you get 2% of that, or whatever, and then it's fair, because it is still their voice, even if it's it's still, they still have agreed to it, but there's got to be something, there's got to be a reason for them to agree to it beyond $9 an hour or whatever they say, and I hope that number is lower, that rumor is not true, because I can't see SAG-Aftra screwing their people over like that.
I mean,
they've worked really hard not to screw their people over like that over the last few months. So that's why that number doesn't fit to, what we've watched go on. And as Carlos said, we've spoken to a lot of those people during the strike. We actually sat down with a few of them.
Frog,
so what was?
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul.
Actually, real quick, PK had a question. He wanted clarification or something.
So because I don't know. You mentioned that they get notified before it's used. Is that everybody, or is it certain contracts?
Well, for this contract, for the one they just signed with this company, according to what the SAG-Aftra thing said, they'll be able to opt in or opt out at any time.
Oh,
So it
okay.
sounds like they'll be told,
What
"Hey, we want to use your voice likeness for this game. Are you okay with that, or do you
does it
want to opt out of that?"
does it include the monetary value of what they
They-
would pay if they opt in, or
None of that information has actually been made public yet. So
okay, that's all I got. That's what I was curious about. Go ahead, clowns. I'm sorry.
Frog Boy.
Yeah, I do not have an opinion on this. I don't know anything about it, so I'd have to. I don't know anything about it, so yeah, I don't really have.
okay,
an
you have
opinion.
homework before next week now, Frog. No,
There we go, Frog. That's it.
I don't know
Homework.
exactly what's going on or
Homework,
why, but I mean, yeah, I don't know if they're getting paid for it. I guess it's up to them. I think that the AI thing is going to replace a lot of people, anyways. I made a video about that a while ago when everybody was freaking out about AI, being used for like Nvidia's tech and stuff. When they were talking about like the AI being able to, I think it had something to do with Cyberpunk, and they had the one dude that created like DLSS on there talking to one of the Nvidia or the Cyberpunk devs, and he was saying that it looked better than what they could create, and I was like, dude, you guys are going to be out of a job pretty quickly, so I don't know. The farther it goes, I mean, there's going to be so many devs losing their jobs just because of the way the AI is going to be able to do what they do faster and quicker. I don't know. The AI thing is really getting out of control pretty quickly.
AI, to me, AI is another form of automation, and we've seen automation decimate other industries as far as workforces go. And so,
Yes.
to me, it's the same kind of situation.
You just gotta adapt.
Well, someday maybe AI will learn how to do what I do.
Well, I mean,
Don't threaten me like that. AI could be over there going, "Here, hold my beer, dude. Watch this."
AI at one point can be a dick, right?
it's not just AI.
That's where we are, right?
Machine learning is a part of
Yeah.
it because AI
Yeah.
can do what it's got to do. The point I'm making is, and this is off topic, obviously, but technology evolves like extremely fast, but it also creates jobs as much as it takes away. So you got to think of it that way too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Absolutely.
clowns. It cozy. See.
No, I didn't speak yet.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's probably headed towards, like, I guess, a future probably where they don't even need voice actors.
Well.
Yeah. Careful.
I
Now-
mean, it's the reality.
It's a possibility, right? But whether it's
not
right or
about
not, I don't know.
Now I can't
It's a
live
possibility,
without
boys.
my Optimus Prime voice, but
I get it, but we're older. You're gonna have an entire generation that this is going to be AI, created entities are going to be completely
it's terrible.
normal,
People
and they're
don't know how
not
to
going
talk
to
to each
care
other
about
already.
their names and such.
AI might help Carlo remember names.
Thank you, Pineapple Paul.
Yeah,
Inappropriate pineapple Paul.
that's right.
Inappropriate pineapple
yeah.
Paul.
I've been
Remember
good this
that,
week
right?
so far. I've been good this week so far.
You remembered that? That's awesome.
Yeah.
PK, any other thoughts?
I thought we
on
all
this?
did. We added that to his name last week.
yeah.
I kind of feel like
I forgot.
so like I mentioned, there's some
many.
people who have iconic voices, like the guy that did Batman's
Chris
voice
Pratt?
for years, or the
Kevin
guy
Conroy.
Kevin Conroy, and the guy who played Luke, who also did the Joker voice.
Mark
Like
Hamill?
they
Mark
created
Hamill,
yeah.
voices, but these voices are kind of iconic in a way. So just like Peter Cullen, who played Optimus Prime for like 90,000 years. So what do you
Troy
like
Baker. That's what they
if
need
you
to do is
if you
get his.
want
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you.
like
Troy
could
Baker.
you ever picture someone else doing the voices? And if after they pass and they no longer can do it, and they sign something saying, yeah, you can use our voice as long as my family get paid, pretty good every time. Is that satisfactory?
I think so.
Could you imagine anybody
Or
else?
let the families
other
have the
than-
rights.
Could you imagine anybody else but Adam West playing the original Batman, right?
Oh,
God, I hope
absolutely.
not.
Hold on. That's what
Come
you
on.
can imagine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what you
Could you imagine somebody else doing it?
But that's an opinion. That's what you can imagine. But if someone who has
Yeah,
never
yeah,
been
yeah.
exposed to
I'm
it, and they bring
asking you
someone,
if you can
Right.
imagine. That's the
Mr. One,
point.
that's my point. There's going to be an entire generation of people that are
right?
like,
And
I
that's
don't care about.
no one is addressing that because to
Yeah.
me, you could say, okay, no one has a voice like, for instance,
Morgan
James
Freeman.
Earl Jones. No, Morgan
Morgan Freeman, right?
James Earl Jones.
James
James
Earl
Earl
Jones.
Jones.
When he
exactly.
did, if you look
Morgan
at the
Freeman.
video,
There's
when
many,
you look at the
there's
video,
many.
when you look at the video of Star Wars, when the original guy who played Darth Vader spoke, it wasn't anything there. The impact was dead. But when James Earl Jones took it over, it was awesome. Now you can say coming on, if someone 5 years from now, 10 years from now takes over Darth Vader, but we are not, younger people are not familiar with this Darth Vader, then someone else can come on that's just as iconic. You'd be none the wiser.
It's just like all the Warner Brothers stuff, the cartoons.
Let's be honest.
Hang on.
It's gonna be someone like fucking Jake Paul, right?
Let him finish. let Paul get his thought out. Go ahead.
If you didn't grow up with the original Warner Brothers stuff, you don't know what Mel Blanc actually sounded like. They've used a lot of sounded like stuff.
Right, he did all the characters.
Agreed.
Mel Blanc
He did all
I
the
don't know who that is.
The original Mickey
He's
Mouse was
Paul's
actually
best
voiced by
friend
Walt
from
Disney
back in the day.
initially. Walt actually voiced Mickey Mouse for the early stuff.
And many others.
And many others.
Many others.
Yeah. So
Daffy
I mean,
and many others, right?
but most people, as you're saying, as people get older and a different generation runs into the newer characters, the newer versions, they don't know that it's not the same guy or it's not the same voice. So
Okay.
so that's why I don't necessarily always like when people go, well, they can never replace him. Oh, well, that's not true.
Yes.
They
I
may
just
have to
don't know
use
if the
it.
impact would be the same.
Right.
Is all I'm
True.
saying.
That's because you're talking for
Your perspective.
your
I know. I know.
age demographic.
I mean, that's the point. I'm just saying from my perspective, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you said, voice acting is an art form. It's not. They actually get into characters. Sometimes even act out the scenes just to feel how those characters feel.
Agreed.
AI will be doing
Erin
that.
Fitzgerald, our friend, she does how many characters?
No, we
Oh,
have
man,
we have on this channel, right?
But
Interviewed many voice actors.
But
We have.
let me ask you a question.
And it's unbelievable the characters they portray, isn't it? Alison Packard for example, right?
Let me ask you a question, and I have to jump off because I have another event at 7. But let me ask you a question, PK, real quick, and I apologize.
Yeah. No problem. Go ahead.
The whole point of AI is to replicate what is being done and to sample thousands of different type of voices at once. So if you gave AI the command to come up with a voice similar to XYZ, and you kept testing it to somebody that can be iconic. The thing about AI is it doesn't have to practice. It doesn't have to get into character. It can mimic anything it sees and come together with and bring its own character to life. That is what's scary about AI.
So
the fact that AI
for example, right? AI could take my voice and then do this conversation, right? That's what you're saying.
Dear God, I hope not.
Well, even say that. Let's say that there's a certain pitch you
okay.
have in your voice, and we want to mend that with PKs.
Yes,
and come up with something. The AI can do that quicker than anyone else can. That's the scare of AI.
That's the point, right?
That's the whole point.
That's scary thing.
That's the hidden element.
I'm in complete agreement with you, brother. I'm in complete agreement.
But That
Yeah.
being said, lady and gentlemen, PK, thank you guys
Yo,
for
thank you for coming through,
Thanks for
brother.
coming, one.
Hey,
Thank
before you go, could you
Yeah,
tell them where to
thank you for coming,
find you?
I'm always on Xbox, the one, PlayStation, the one, the gamers DMZ on Twitter. So the game, you'll see the one, and then you'll see the gamers DMZ, and then you'll see some other things that you will know is me, because you'll see the one CISSP. That's me on Twitter. So if you look at one
Yeah.
CISSP, PK know what that means. But if you see that, that's me.
Bro,
Send me
add me, we'll hang out.
yeah, no problem. And I played Diablo 4 with PK. He's a beast, so I have to give him all props for that. Again, lady and gentlemen, thank you very much. I had a great time.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
All
coming
right.
through,
Thanks for
man.
coming on.
Next time,
Yeah,
show my
sir.
face. All right, have a good one.
You guys have thank you, man, for coming through. Appreciate that.
So
He missed the last topic, which I know that Prog Boy can't wait to get into.
Guys, I can't wait for the
Yeah.
Matrix.
What Matrix?
You are in the Matrix.
you guys just threw me off. Now I forgot where we were at. Oh, PK. Before we get into that last topic about AMD and NVIDIA,
No.
which I know you're excited about. You're so
Uh-oh.
excited about it.
Uh-oh.
I just want to talk real quick that because of AI, I think we're going to see a lot of jobs in the game industry shed this year. We see Twitch dropping
gonna-
35% of their employees. Google's dropping 1,000 employees in voice
I was just
because
reading that.
and investors claim that's because Microsoft's ahead in AI and Google's not there yet as far as Microsoft.
I agree, but what happens is the old way of doing things just go away. You have to find the new way of doing things. So, like I said before, AI is everywhere, but guess what? There's no AI security right now,
Well,
and that job is got to be created, but people have to learn. And what I'm getting at is, at the end of the day, I agree that some of the older stuff, just like the auto industry, went from assembling everything by hand to having robots do a lot of the work, and then you have the quality people come and make sure that the QA will come and make sure the pieces are correct. They even use AI for that too. But my point is, there's still a different way of doing things and approaching. It's not going to erase everything. You can't do it. It's impossible.
Here's the problem, PK. So the displaced jobs that AI is going to displace will not be replaced in other areas. There will be fewer jobs in other areas to watch over AI. But if AI cuts 1,000 jobs, you're only going to see maybe 50 jobs pop up to watch over AI. And I'll give you an example right now. I'll give you a great example in this. So you look at supermarkets and you look at the self-checkout lanes, right? Walmart used to have rows and rows and rows of cashiers, sometimes maybe like 15, 16, 17 cashiers on staff at 24-hour Walmarts. It was crazy. You always had someone to go to. Now with these self-checkout lanes, they replace those 15 to 17 cashiers with 2 people that watch the checkout lanes.
Yep.
I realize
Agreed.
that, but there's still somebody plucking chicken for a living. Okay, there's still somebody assembling roofs on your house for a living. All right, you're still a plumber out there that's coming to your house and fixing drains.
Yeah, I
all
need
right,
a trademark drone roof repair right
I'm,
now.
I'm a trained plumber. Here we go.
I don't want to see your plumbers crack. I'm just throwing it.
No, but
out.
can I throw something out there, please?
Yeah.
It's fucking 1 a.m. I need to go.
Okay.
All
Okay,
right.
go get your
Right.
3 hours sleep.
Thank you, animated.
I'm
Don't worry, they can find
I'm,
you.
I'm up at 4:50.
And you came through because of Frog Boy.
Yeah, go to bed.
Yeah.
I told him to go to bed. I was just
Frog
telling
boy.
him next time.
Do you know what? Hit me up on Xbox. We can hang out and everything, because I
Okay.
think me and you can bounce, dude. Really,
All right.
I think me and
Oh,
you
my
could
Lord.
just
Yeah.
bounce,
I know.
right?
Okay, well, bounce
All
yourself
right,
to
buddy.
bed.
However,
bed.
I've got like 4 hours to sleep, and then good night.
All right. Good night,
Later.
Animated. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Nighty.
And you can find
Look at you,
Animated
man.
on his
Look at-
links. Oh, we lost him. We lost him already. So I guess I'll fast track us to the last topic because we're almost at the 2-hour mark anyway. So I want to thank everybody who's been sticking around. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. We're looking to put more content on the channel. I know our cosplay stuff's getting big, so check that out too if you like cosplay. But the last topic of the night, and Frog Boy is an expert in this. AMD has announced 4 new Ryzen 8000 APUs at the CES event in Las Vegas this week. Desktop processors, powerful onboard Radeon RDNA 3 graphics, and
these are APUs.
APUs.
Yeah.
So these are actually just CPUs
Yeah.
that you buy.
They're
Stick in your
CPUs.
PC.
It's just got an integrated
have
graphics. That's all it is.
1650 power. That's pretty dang good just for a CPU. You'll be able to play 1080p, medium, high settings, no problem. That's insane. It's insane.
And not only that, they are about a third of the power wattage required for graphics cards.
Exactly. You're basically
Nice.
getting power. You're basically getting your power like what you would use for your CPU, and still being able to run pretty dang good visuals right off of just your CPU. You don't even need a GPU for the most part. If you're on a budget, this is absolutely incredible for people that are on a budget when it comes to gaming, because that 1650 is actually still doing pretty good in the Steam survey. It says it right here. What is it? It's like 4.54%. It's not too bad. That's pretty good for 1080p gaming.
Yeah.
Roblox.
They showed that it can run Cyberpunk raw at 63 frames with no GPU.
Yep.
And that's higher than a 4080.
Higher than a 4080.
That's right. Yes. Raw. With no DLSS and none of that. Just raw.
Oh wow.
That's impressive.
At 1080p.
Yeah. Well, it's not
A 4080?
Yeah.
4080 should be able to run that way better at 1080p.
Look at the I think it wasn't at 1080. I think it was at
1080 or something maybe.
No, it was a 4080. They did the
4080.
test.
Huh.
I'll show you the article later. But point is, it is.
Are you talking about the Forbes one?
Yeah.
Let me see if they've seen this in here.
But the point is, it's impressive that integrated graphics card can still play games without an extra body attached to it, you know?
Yeah.
So the example they give here is that right now, on average, if you were to get a GTX 1650 and a Core i5, I think that's 13 gen. I can't tell the way he wrote it in here, but
65 watts.
65 watts TP.
Yep. TDP,
Wow.
65 watt.
it'd be like 380, where the Ryzen chip by itself is 329.
Yeah.
That's a huge price decrease for people that want to get in gaming right there, because you're already paying 200 something for motherboards these days, the DDR5 RAMs.
Yep.
So you add that in, you can probably be gaming at a great 1080p that could also theoretically do all your video production stuff.
Yep.
For maybe like what you pay for a mid-tier gaming PC now, except it would be like a higher end PC for like $700, maybe $750 roughly.
I think also on the other end of that, you'd be saving on the other end too, because I believe it'd be running cooler and stuff too.
Yes, definitely. This will
So,
this
yeah.
65 watts or whatever. See,
Right.
this 8700G is what, a 8-core 16 thread or whatever. So if they come out with like a 8900G, maybe I would consider getting that, because I want the 12 cores still. So I'll have to wait until they bring more of these out. These are just the initial cheap
Well-
ones. I want the rich guy one.
Premium.
But
At some point,
I want the
I'm
rich
gonna have to
guy
replace
one.
my stuff. At some point, I'm gonna have to
he's
replace
too
my
bougie
broken down
for.
stuff. So
I need my bougie stuff. Yeah.
So what? So what about the Super Series there,
The
Frog Boy?
Super?
Yeah. The Super
Well,
Series.
they are basically there's no testing out yet, but from what I'm hearing, they are about as strong as the AMD cards that are already out. They are.
What?
Well, yeah. So the 4070 Super is going to be in line with the 7800 XT. The 4070 Ti Super should be on par with what the 7900 XT is, and the 4080 Super should they should pretty much be the same power, and that should be pretty much the same power as the 7900 XTX.
Is that why they're getting rid of the regular versions
Yep.
now? Because
See,
the
that's
regular
the
versions
thing.
was like $200 or $300 more, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So the thing is like AMD this generation put out some really solid cards, and most people are like, oh man, I don't know, and like something about like drivers in the beginning of it and all that stuff. When I bought this 7900 XT, this thing absolutely blew me away. 7800 XT that I have versus that 4070, it absolutely is better. Like there's like no question. Even at 4K, like that card runs 4K pretty solid. The 4070 Ti Super is probably the one that is the best one out of all of them. It got the best upgrades. It went from a 192-bit bus up to a 256-bit bus, and it gained 4 extra gigs of VRAM, and it is just shy of what the 4080, the original 4080 already was. So it's, I think it was what, 8% slower than that. So that's actually a pretty good deal for $800.
Yeah.
If you are looking for an NVIDIA GPU, these super cards are actually going to be on par with what AMD has right now. If AMD drops the price, which I don't necessarily think they should have to, because they've got it still pretty good on like VRAM and stuff, but I don't know. It just kind of makes them look weak every time they do that, in my opinion.
I don't think they have to, because I got a 7900 XTX and it like decimated that 4080.
Exactly. It destroyed
And it
it.
was cheaper than the 4080.
But
Now you got a Super.
yeah, but ray tracing, it's barely usable on the 4070.
First of all, what games does the DLSS
Exactly.
support? Only the ones that NVIDIA paid them to use.
Yeah, it's like 50 games or something. I don't know. With AMD, you get access to fluid motion frames. If you want that fake frame rate, you can use that on all DX11 and DX12
And NVIDIA
games.
cards.
Yep. Well, no, you can't use that on NVIDIA
You can
cards.
use FSR though.
FSR3, yeah.
And that's
That
what I'm
other
saying.
one, AMD's fluid motion frames, is actually pretty good. I've been testing it out on a lot of games. If you're using a controller, it's awesome. Like you can't even tell. Like you could barely tell.
I seen it in I played it in Forspoken. I seen it in there. With DLSS, I mean FSR3. But yeah.
You should try it in Avatar.
So with the Super Series and they're retiring the normal ones, what is
they're keeping the
NVIDIA's
4070. They're keeping the 4070 still. They just dropped the price to $50 or something. But what are they doing with that? They are basically saying, "Oh man, we screwed up. We knew we shouldn't have like tried to rip you off because AMD is starting to sell more cards." Huh.
I
But
stick with AMD.
They've already, yeah. I'm AMD now too. I just don't care about. I don't think DLSS is really as good as everybody tries to make it out to be. Every time I use it on this 4070, I lose image quality. Just like I do on the PS5 when you turn on, if you got a PS5 and you use the 120 FPS mode that gives you the 40 frames or whatever, like the 40 FPS quality mode, tell me you don't lose image quality going from that to 4K. That's exactly what DLSS looks like to me. When you use DLSS with frame generation, you lose image quality.
Well, the problem is upscalers have to be equivalent. So it lowers the resolution to upscale it again. So if you're not playing at 4K already, right? Not
Mhm.
saying you, but I'm just saying in general, like people don't have 4K monitors. I'll put it out there. And a lot of people don't have TVs that can support
I
this
don't have
either,
a
to be
4K
honest.
monitor.
So if you don't have a 4K monitor and do an upscale with DLSS, it's not going to work as well as like FSR, because it's doing it's not doing it's doing a temporal upscaling rather than it has to learn the game first before it upscales.
Yeah. I don't think the DLSS looks as good as FSR.
I don't think
FSR,
it's
I
too
mean,
much of a difference.
in
It's usually
in
the
the
same.
distance, like whatever with instability or
Grass
whatever, but like
pebble, grass pedals.
image, yeah, exactly. Like image quality, I feel like you get better overall like texture quality and stuff. And if you're on AMD, you've got access to virtual super resolution. So if you're using like a 1440p monitor and you got a 78 or 7900 XTX, you could just bump it all the way up to like 8K, super sample it down to 1440p, and it looks incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I really appreciate these lessons, because there's some fanboys that are just, I just got to do NVIDIA for no reason. They don't even have good reasons.
You
I just
know,
got to do it.
It's
the
the
first
default.
time the first time I got an AMD card and it like just lasted a lot longer than the Nvidia card that I had, I was like, well, it was cheaper and then as far as like my ability to play games and
Exactly.
perform, and I was like, well, I'm not a high end gamer anyway. I'm like medium to low. So I'm like, why?
Well, see, the thing that I'm seeing with AMD since I bought this card is I'm getting a more consistent experience across the board than I've ever gotten with any NVIDIA card that I've bought. Even the 4070 is not as consistent overall as the 7800 XT that I have. It in some games it'll do really really well, and most of those games are the ones that are like um, the NVIDIA sponsored titles and stuff. But anytime you put on an AMD one or any of that, like the NVIDIA cards, they just don't do as well.
But a lot of that is because they pay for parity, right? So Cyberpunk, it favors NVIDIA cards because they pay for it.
Yeah.
They're the sponsored card for that game. Doesn't mean it won't work well. It's just they do a little extra for the NVIDIA cards to
Yeah.
optimize it.
And they do
So
the same with I mean, AMD does the same too, but
yeah, they both do it.
AMD's not as strict with the features and stuff. But I mean,
Right,
like
because most of it's open source.
well,
So
see, I play a lot of Ubisoft games, and most of those are usually AMD sponsored. And normally, like you go back and look at some of the older ones, they don't have like DLSS support in those. Like Assassin's Creed, Valhalla,
they
and
have
stuff
good
like that.
restoration though.
Yeah, but they do have the old FSR one in some of those games, but they don't have the DLSS. But you can mod DLSS and everything now. I don't know.
You can mod them both.
And you can
So
mod in FSR3 and all of that.
I'm gonna share some of this because I know a lot of people who decided, hey, what's up, Megatron in the chat, Delilah? Then you got Lemon. Everybody show up at the end. I mean, what's going on here? Yo, Paul, you got something to come in and comment on this? Or you're just a NVIDIA fan? You don't want to jump in and get beat up?
Actually, I'm whatever card I can afford fan, and at this point,
I like that answer.
No,
so
actually,
that means never NVIDIA. No, I'm just joking.
No, yeah, well, not right now. Thank you. Yes, I'm. But when it does come to when I do finally get into a space where I am looking, because I do need a new setup, so I will be shopping around, and I may even hit Frog up for some information. But I tend to do my own research and stuff and say, okay, what's going to work for me? What can I do without, and I do try to get the best bang for my buck. In the early 2000s and late 90s, I was an AMD guy instead of an Intel guy because I felt that for their chips, they gave me the best bang for my buck compared to paying, 1.5 times as much for an Intel card, for an Intel CPU. And over the years, that has changed a little bit. But, so I always try to check where I'm at. I don't just automatically go, I want this, I want that. I want to shop around.
Well, I think honestly, the secret with PC guys is what I'm starting to learn, and what's becoming apparently clear is the mid-range cards are always going to give you the best bang for your buck. If you go
Yeah.
high end, the next generation, their mid-range cards are
Yeah.
going to have that power. So do not waste your money. Just get the mid-range card,
Yeah.
and you can upgrade every generation. Every 2 years, you could get the mid-range card and still
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
more bang for your buck than what you're getting.
And I've got to say the one you were talking about at the beginning, the combined APU thing. I mean, to me, that just sounds like a done deal for me.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, absolutely. Because you just replace you get your
Yeah.
AM5 platform. You've got what did they say? A couple generations that they were going to support this for a few years. So
Yeah.
you should be all right
It's
with
a
that.
AI. It's a AI.
It's an AI
CPU as well.
platform. Yep.
It's a
So yeah, so I'm gonna have to do some research. Okay, what motherboards do I need, and then things like that, and then go from there and build it around that chip. Basically, is what I would probably end up doing. Is
Basically,
building the system around that chip.
Well, my opinion is to go big on your CPU and your motherboard and all of that stuff.
Right.
Make sure you get like the best quality, your power
Right.
supply, all of that, because your GPU, yes, it's going to matter, but you're going to be
Yeah.
replacing your GPU far more
Oh, yeah.
often. If
I was-
if you're an avid like hardcore gamer, you're going to replace your GPU more
Yeah.
often than you are any of the other stuff. So
I
definitely
used to do
splurge.
5-year build machine, and over the next 5 years, by the end of that 5 years, I was replacing it. But even during that 5 years, I had replaced the sound card or the video card or added
Yeah.
memory, because that's just I used to build my own rigs, and I just
Yeah.
don't have the resources to do that anymore.
I'm going to be upgrading GPU. I'm going to be upgrading a lot now
Yeah.
that this PC thing has become part of the channel. So it will definitely be getting pretty ridiculous. I'm already talking about getting the 4070 Ti Super and the 7600 XT. I will be covering that when it comes out for sure. I still haven't
Nice.
decided on the NVIDIA card yet.
Nice.
I don't know.
I
if
admit,
it's
every
worth
once in a while,
wasting the money.
I do online window shopping. I go and I look. Okay, what's this motherboard? What does it do? And okay, and
Yeah.
I piece together a system, and then look at the price and go, yeah, no, that ain't happening. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I still kind of think the AM4 platform is solid.
I
It's
still
got less
use the
bugs,
AM4.
less
It's
less
cheap.
glitches. It's cheaper
Yeah.
right now. Definitely something that you
Yeah.
could support for a little while longer. I think
Yeah, it's-
the 5000 series CPUs are pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I have, but I have a 5950. But they are good, especially the 5800 X3D is
Oh, yeah.
is a freaking monster, and that's AM4 itself.
Yep. And if I wasn't like a content creator, I would have one of those.
Yes, it's so good.
I
So
like
with
the
that
extra
being said,
cords.
Cozy,
Yes.
how you feel?
I'm feeling good. I mean, I'm sore, but I'm feeling good.
How you feel about the AMD versus NVIDIA soundtrack?
I don't know. Because I'm not trying to be fancy and spend as much money. I don't part easy with my money. I was just like AMD stuff.
They also put out a better product at lesser money, which is it's such a misconception. I just don't understand.
I get an AMD card like every 4 years.
That's not bad.
And
That's
mine was like $250. Well, it was like on sale, and it was like $250 for my
Nice.
68
yeah. So yeah.
XT.
That's actually good. So
Yeah.
that's a good card.
Very good.
And since
That
you
is a
freely
very good
admitted,
card.
yeah, and since you freely admitted you're not a big time AAA, gotta have all the bells and whistles gamer, So
A 6800 can run really
Yeah.
good games at 4K.
Yeah.
That game is that card is starting to pull ahead of the 3080 10 gig that I had, and that's so bad. Oh gosh.
I mean, it can because Far Cry
It's got more
5 requires
VRAM.
you to have 10 gigs of VRAM, so it can't to use the HD graphics.
Mhm.
So no, it requires you
There's
have
a 4K
12
one.
gigs. 12 gigs.
Wow.
So a 3080 could not run Far Cry 5 with the HD package, but you can on a 6800. and up. That's for sure.
6800, man. AMD is awesome with that VRAM allocation. It's very nice. And plus, when I mean, like, people are like, "Oh, you're never going to use your 20 gigs of blah blah blah," and it's like, dude, if you're a modder and you mod a lot of games and stuff, yeah, you might use that VRAM. Like, you're not freaking held back on AMD, and I like
if
that.
a game requires you to have 12 gigs of VRAM to run an HD package, and that's from the devs, you're not running it. You're just going. A 3080 could, I mean, a 3060 could, because they had 12 gigs.
12 gigs.
But,
But not
This is
that
funny.
wonderful 3080 4K card that they sold you. I just
And-
don't
And
trust. I
for
don't
me,
trust NVIDIA
because of what I
anymore.
do, but for me, for what I do, if I get my hands on a cheap 3080 or whatever, I'd jump on it because I'm not kidding when I'm saying I'm running on a built-in 1060 right now.
yeah,
okay?
but
Oh yeah.
with,
Yeah,
with
but you
3
could
gigs
get
of RAM. You know,
you could get a
So,
better deal with a 68.
yeah.
6800.
My issue is with the one I have. Because it's a built all-in-one piece of crap Dell. Sorry, Dell.
Oh.
I need to. I need to replace everything. I need to basically. I can't add to it. I can't. It's
old
not
too,
modular.
right, Paul?
Yeah,
Pretty
it's a
old.
few years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the connections I need to do some of the newer stuff. So,
Just go get one of them pre-builts, Paul.
bite me.
Just do it.
No, I've done that before, but even when I do that,
you can go to Best Buy, and I was looking because my friend was asking me about one of them pre-builts over there, and I pulled up that 7800 XT version.
yeah,
They actually got some pretty decent stuff in that one that would last you a while.
yeah. Well, that's how this one got started because my other one croaked, and I had
And it's
limited
about
funds.
$1,500, and it had like a 2
Oof.
terabyte SSD. So with
Yeah.
32 gigs of RAM, that was a pretty
Yeah.
decent deal.
That's nice. Yeah,
Dang.
With the 7800, what was it, like
Yeah.
a 7800X?
yeah.
7800X, and then the 7800X XT as the
Well,
GPU.
maybe we'll have to start a fundraiser for Paul. No.
Yes.
But anyway,
Oh man.
I admit though, I do miss building my own stuff. I really do. There's something about, hey, I put that together.
Yep.
That literally has my DNA on it because I bled
Even
right
if you
there.
had
know?
bad wire management.
Ew. I might want your DNA.
Hey,
and stuff.
I'm old, so when I used to work on cases, they had all those sharp edges and crap, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
If you didn't
Yeah.
bleed when you were putting
Those were cages.
together.
Those wasn't
Yeah.
cases. They were made out of steel.
Yeah, they
Oh.
were. They were really.
They weighed like 300 pounds. Like, oh.
Yep, and they didn't soften the edges at all, man. It's like, ow.
Oh man, that
It's
is
not-
Paul.
all
You've
we
been
got-
around since they first made the very first calculator in the Stone Age.
I was around for
Sure.
Mary and I was around for Mary and Joseph's first date. It was a wild night. It was
How was that dirt when it was first invented?
before it got all dirty and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Nice. Well, it was a different. It was different when it was new.
Yeah. Well, very white, very like a lot of silicone.
Oh, did it have that? Did it have that
Yeah.
fresh car smell?
Yeah, that sheen.
new
It had
car
a good
smell?
sheen. Yeah.
Nice.
That fresh planet smell, man. Nothing beats it.
I just so you know, we're not making fun of Paul. It's just because we're trying to be offensive. He is along with the joke. I just want to make sure everybody know it's all in good and fun.
Well, I
don't
mean,
want
you gotta
nobody
say
to
his
kill us.
full name. You can't just say Paul anymore. It's like
I always
paparazzi.
Inappropriate.
after every show I cry myself to sleep just so everybody knows. It's all right. Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
All right, PK. Well, we're getting to that time.
We're
so
done.
take us out of here. The most entertaining man in all YouTube
Listen.
land.
I
Hey,
think
I
he
just wanna
almost called
say-
you the most Italian man in all entertainment land. But whatever.
So I just want to say thank you for everyone that came out and came and watched this. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Yo, shout out to everyone. You guys are great. Always lurking and supporting. Thanks to Lila. You need to come on and hang out with us too. Don't be just lurking. You and Megatron. You guys killed me. Anyways, definitely thanks to everyone for coming out. And those that watch later, just feel free to hang out with us. Go check out all our content. We got some more interviews coming through. This was a good conversation. I think we had a good show. So we're gonna start off. Go ahead, Mr. Frog Boy. Tell everybody where they can find you and what's going on next for you.
I am Frogboy X1. I'm Andrew. Frogboy X1 Gaming is where you can find me on Twitter as well as YouTube. I will be live streaming a little bit later on my channel tonight, probably about another hour or so. I got something to go do. And then, yeah, it's been pretty awesome. Sorry for being a toxic toad to Paul.
All right. So we'll move over to the cozy. I only got one beluga, and that's her, so I can't lose it. Cozy, what's going on? Where they can find you next, and when you coming back, what you going on with you?
I got a lot of stuff going on. You can find me. Wait, today's Thursday. You can find me here. I'll try to be every other Thursday. And then on Fridays, you'll find me on TW, SW. What?
Oh, wow.
What?
The Bird Watching Channel, Discovery Network.
Oh,
They
Lord.
said, we said. You got to
They
get
said. I'm sorry. I'm.
I
I can't. I'll talk about it after off the cam. But yeah, you can find me where you find Cozy Belugas.
Okay.
Cozy, what's your
What
Twitter?
about Sunday?
Megatron wants to know.
Cozy Beluga.
What about Sunday? What you do on Sundays?
Oh my goodness.
You don't know what you do on Sundays?
This is complicated.
You stunned Cozy. She wasn't expecting this.
No. There's a Majestic Mayhem on Sundays.
Where's
I'm
that?
Cozy Beluga.
And where do you find Majestic Mayhem?
Here.
Here in your house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On 4GQ TV, I think that's where you would find her.
And 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern for GQ TV on Sundays.
There you go. with the other ladies of the channel. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I led her to say that.
Yeah. This is why Cozy's in charge of her advertising. You know.
Oh.
If she got fans, it'll be hard for them to find her. I'd be somewhere in between America and South America, U.S. and South America. Anyways, back to Paul. What's up, Paul? Tell them 90 places you're gonna be.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Cerebral Paul 1, Twitch at Cerebral Paul. You can find me on Tuesdays at the Xbox Ambassador channel with Gaming Differently with Cerebral Paul at 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. You can find me Mondays at the Pop-Up Powerbomb podcast right here on 4GQ TV. Tuesdays nights, you can find me with the Retro Renegades on their channel. And then Thursdays, you find me right here on 4GQ TV. And then on Fridays, you find me Wasted with Wise.
Yeah, I'm there too.
Nice. That's 7 places, so that's awesome.
Oh, it's so popular.
That's why Paul stays so young. He stays.
That's why
busy.
he's Pineapple Paul, because like pineapple.
Yes, it's catching on. Everybody knows it
No.
now.
I'm going to
Yes.
start quitting shows if that's going to
Oh.
So, all right. Well, my co-host with the most, go ahead and take us through there clowns, and what's going on next on
Man,
here.
guys, there's a lot I need to drop right here on an outro. So I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you, we interviewed so many amazing people. Number one, we have an interview with an ex-Genovese mafioso coming up, Chicky from Boston, working on him with the schedule. We just interviewed Ryan Harmon from Zygas Industries. They do theme park designs. I just dropped an interview with the creator of Monster High, Garrett Sander from St. Pete Comic Con. Also interviewed Cindy Robinson, who is the voice director for ESO, as well as been in, she was your favorite hedgehog in Sonic as well, PK. We interviewed Karen Swassman, I want to say her last name is, We interviewed Wally Wingert, who was the Tonight Show voice for Jay Leno, as well as PK's favorite Transformer, Mirage, and a plethora of other characters, like 50, 60 other characters. We interviewed Dexter Vines from DC Comics. He's an amazing inker, and he's known for Civil War and a Batman vs. Superman comic as well. And we are working on, Paul's working on one of the singers from Rascal Flatts. We also have the Tom Schulman for Double Down South. He was Dead Poet Society and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. He was a producer. And we're also going to be interviewing, and I want to get her name right. I don't want to get it wrong for you guys. So I'm going to try to look her up real quick. It is Lily.
We need an AI for him to pronounce names right.
We do. No, that's the truth, right? Oh, man. It's Double Down South is the name of the movie coming out. It has Lily Simmons. She's going to come on for an interview. Possibly Kim Coates as well from Sons of Anarchy. But that's all I have right now to dump on you guys. There's always more in the works. Paul and I are always back and forth with PR companies that reach out to us. But yeah, so that's where we're at. PK, the most entertaining man in all electronic land. Tell people where they can find you.
Definitely find me on 4G and on the Dragon's Dens on Saturday, and on Twitter at PKXLive, and of course playing on Xbox or Switch sometimes and Steam, so you guys can party up with me.
Xbox.
If we ever have The Rock on this show, he's gonna smack Carlo the way he blows that intro every time.
I don't know about all that because I'm not going to be involved
Is
in
that
it.
what you're saying? All right, well,
No, I'm
everybody in
saying-
chat, thank you so much for coming out. Please like, share, subscribe, share it out. I haven't been advertising lately because I've just been too busy, so I apologize for that. I'm going to leave that up to PK to handle advertising going forward. But everybody, to all, a good night. See you next week.
All right,
Later,
thanks.
taters.
Poor